Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound. Journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.
Welcome to Meta Mysteries, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today we are getting saucy. Sean, are you excited about the conversation we are getting into today as it pertains to another one of the 7 Hermetic principles?
Absolutely, dude. I feel like these are just the foundational elements of what we all experience in any given belief system or dogma or whatever you want to call it, dude. I feel like it's all in there. You can utilize any of these towards any frame of thought, you know. And so I'm really looking forward to this, man.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that people hear them, you know, and they're like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. But then, you know, I feel like not a lot of people, including us, you know, up until this point, we're not necessarily like applying these principles to your everyday life. And how would you, you know, like when you talk about, so I got the 7 Hermetic principles pulled up right here. Anybody that doesn't know, we actually did a couple of episodes reading the Kabbalion. That was like 6 months ago, to a year ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a great book written by the 3 initiates, very secret,
very mysterious,
mystery school kind of shit.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, I think that book was written in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And so it was written by the 3 initiates who say that they got that information back from like ancient Egyptian times. This is like stuff that Thoth was talking about and, you know, that kind of stuff. So it translates. And I think that the truth would translate, you know?
Yeah, I think what the problem that people have is if it was written in like the 1800s, it's like a newer idea. And so it seems like if something isn't written a very long time ago, then it just kind of loses credibility, you know? But as you said, it very may well have been.
Yeah, that's one thing that I never really understood. Like, why does something have to be old in order for it to be true? You know, for example, the Emerald tablets, or the Emerald tablets, rather, that were written by Maurice Doreal back in, 1920s, 1930s, something like that. Very profound book. And it's said to, you know, because I guess they only ever really got their hands on one Emerald tablet. But this Maurice Doreal, who wrote the Emerald tablets book, he ended up getting his hands on like 7 of them or something like that. Or he didn't get his hands on it, but I guess they're like hidden beneath the pyramids or something like that. But it doesn't matter. Like all that stuff, you know truth when you hear it. It resonates to your soul, you know, and I don't care if there are tablets somewhere or not. It's what did you get from this message? What is going to stick with you? What resonates with you? That's really the truth. I mean, forget who was the messenger. I don't really don't care who the messenger was any of the times for any message, any spiritual message ever given, really. I mean, yeah, it's cool, you know, if the Buddha said it or if Jesus said it or whoever, you know, it's cool. You know, it adds a layer of, oh, wow, man, you know, like this guy was enlightened, but at the same time,
some shit.
But at the same time, you know, if you feel like you connect with a message, regardless of who the messenger was, and that's really the meat and potatoes of all of it anyway.
Oh, yeah, dude. And you know what I think it could be, and I could be very wrong. This is just what I'm thinking in real time, is that, you know, anytime something is written more recent, I feel like people would say, oh, these are just this group of people that are trying to get something out of other people. You know, it's a demonic thing, or, you know, they're trying to get a gain, you know, but for some reason, if it was written a very long time ago, that wasn't the case.
I mean,
you know
but
I
just
I don't understand that.
Apply that to any other concept. Like any other concept, like, all right, NASA was created, in the 60s, they allegedly went to the moon in 72. Well, you know, that is our foundational beliefs as far as outer space goes. What's this Elon character? He thinks he's going to get to Mars, right? Like, no, he's not doing it the NASA way. You know, so, I mean, are we believing in this new age way of technology now? You know what I mean? Like, that's how silly it is to me.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
So I figured, you know what? While we're going over some of these Hermetic principles, why don't we just list the 7 of them, and then we will hone in on 1 or 2 of them in this episode.
Sounds good, dude.
So the 7 Hermetic principles. First, the first principle is the principle of mentalism, which is everything is mind, the universe is mental. I love that that's the first one.
I feel like that one we can do an episode on by itself. So maybe not that one tonight.
Right. Although a great one.
Oh, it is.
The episode that we're shooting on tonight actually is the second Hermetic principle, which is the principle of correspondence, which is as above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without, as without, so within.
And, you know, to be honest with you, I feel like the second one could really play into the first one, if you really think about it.
Of course. They all play into the first one, I think, though.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
The next one is the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, and everything vibrates. I don't see how people could disagree with these.
Well, I mean, if you're a flat earther on a motionless plane, that probably doesn't work, you know?
No shade thrown at the flat earthers.
No shade at all, but a little bit. No.
And if you're watching this on YouTube or on Patreon, stay flat. Okay?
Oh, God.
The next principle, which is the 4th, is the principle of polarity, which we recently just did an episode on.
Which was great.
Love that
awesome.
One.
Yes.
The principle of polarity, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled.
Okay.
And I never heard that last part. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Huh.
Yeah, we might have to look into that at some point.
Yeah. The 5th principle would be the principle of rhythm. So everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates.
And see, this one here, when I see that one, what I think about automatically is just the nature of the universe itself. That's where I go to as far as like whether it's a big bang or whatever, or could it just be this thing just does that? It goes in and out, kind of like a breath. You know, they do say that it is possible that it could come to a big crunch. You know, if you subscribe to the scientific understanding of that. And hey, who's to say? You know what I mean? How are we supposed to know if it's going to eventually close back in on itself? Or maybe it doesn't close back in all the way. It gets to a certain point and then goes back out, you know, because it's a rhythm. I don't know.
I mean, we're not going to be here for that, you know? So it's like, it's almost like the people that are saying that like Jesus is coming back. It's like people have been saying that for around 2,000 years. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not saying that you're not special enough to, you know, not have it happen to you. But I'm just saying there's been billions of people that have said that. And so I wouldn't bank on it.
Yeah. I mean, even if we don't get to experience the universe crunching back in on itself, I would just like to know if that's a thing. You know, be kind of cool.
It would be pretty cool. And maybe in the next lifetime. Have you ever seen, did you ever go back and watch the Loki series?
No, I haven't. I know I need to, man. It's been so busy around here, man.
Dude, so good. But anyway, one of the parts of the Loki series is that he gets called up by the TVA, which is basically like the universe's office. And they are trying to find all Lokis on all timelines.
Okay, right. They're like the time repairmen. Or something like that, right?
Okay. The Time Variance Authority, I think, is what it stands for.
Okay.
But it's interesting because he ends up finding him from another universe, but it's a woman, right? And so this woman is like one of the best Lokis of all time, and she stays hidden. And the way that she stays hidden is that she jumps in and out to other worlds and other dimensions and stuff like that. And she stays cloaked by going to these other worlds that are on the verge of the apocalypse. And so they're all about to die. You know what I mean?
That's
and so
interesting.
She stays shrouded in there. So anyway, I was just thinking that would be, I don't know. That's kind of similar to what we were talking about.
Yeah, imagine reincarnating like mid-universe crunch. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, the next one is the sixth principle, which is the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. Interesting.
What do you think about when you cover that one? Like, what comes to mind? The cause and effect.
Well, I think that black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah, yeah. It's the black and the Freemasons all have like the black and white checkerboard floors.
Okay.
They understand that it's like a duality, so to say. But the white can't exist without the black. The darkness can't exist without the light, and so they need each other. It's the yin and yang that is constantly swirling and trying to catch up to each other, and they're trying to reach each other, and so ultimately it's like everything has its cause and its effect. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. That one throws me off. But it says there are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. God, I love this.
That's
kind of
interesting.
Shit.
See, that one I feel like we can go really deep into. Find some shit we don't even know is there, and it's really interesting how they all kind of play into each other.
That's definitely going to be one of the next ones for sure.
Hell yeah.
I for sure want to go on the principle of mentalism more than anything, though.
Yeah.
But today, like I said, we're on the principle of correspondence, which is going to be a great one. Like, I can't wait to talk about this.
Of course.
And then finally, the final principle of the 7 Hermetic principles is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. On all planes, gender manifests.
I think that one, because I think, myself included, when we first covered that, I'm thinking the law of gender. I think gender, I'm not thinking just the aspects of feminine and, masculine and just what, there's more to that. It's not just male and female.
No, not at all. I mean, it kind of is, though, in a sense. So like, for example, how about cords? On a extension cord, or for us, we have podcast microphones, so we have XLR cables, right?
Yep.
And on the XLR cable, there is a male and a female end, and one of them plugs into the mixer, one of them plugs into the microphone. That's just what we call it. It's male and female. It's like all the different screws and the nuts and the bolts, and like if it has an innie, it's a female. If it has an outie, it's a male. It's kind of like and that's just on a very simplistic term, but even still,
there's more to it, though.
You look at it like the sun and the moon. That's male and female in that sense. And so you can really go all over the board with that. But I agree. I think that there's aspects of male and female within everything. It does make sense, because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to create anything. And so, they actually say that, what was it? In the Nag Hammadi, I want to say the Gnostics talked about the original Holy Trinity was never supposed to be like Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It was that they replaced the Mother with the Holy Ghost, even though they're the same thing, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, whatever. So it was originally supposed to be the Father, the Mother, and the Son or the kid, right? And that makes a lot more sense. But also at the same time, it's pretty damn cool that the woman represents the Spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'll take that.
I feel like they are more tapped into. Just to be honest with you.
100%. Yeah, they're affected by the moon tides and the moon changes and whatnot. So yeah, That's why I always say too. Like, whenever somebody wants to get hypnotized, women are so much easier to get to hypnotize than men. It's unreal. I mean, not all men are like extremely difficult. But women, it's like, that's a no-brainer. I've never had a problem in my life.
It just comes even more naturally to go in there, to go to that space.
Yeah, because women tend to know how to surrender more than a male can. Like, as men, we need control of everything all the time. And so men typically aren't willing to let that control go. And that's really where, when people have a hard time in getting hypnotized, it's because they are not willing to surrender that control. Whereas women are like, yeah, I'll go on this ride. You know,
Right.
like they're a lot more open
That's what
to
they
it.
signed up for. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to lay a little precursor out there and talk about the 7 Hermetic principles before we get into this Hermetic principle. As I said, it is the second Hermetic principle of correspondence. So as within, so without, how your inner world shapes your outer reality. Here we go. So the mirror of reality. So this might be, I know a lot of these kinds of things often seem a bit overwhelming. I get it. You know, and that's the hard part about spirituality is that like, I don't know what to do with this. And how do I put this in this box and that in this box? And, you know, is this the right thing? I get it. We've all been there. Like we are not immune to that kind of stuff. Like we had to go through a lot of struggles. We're still going through a lot of struggles with all this.
Still going through it. Yeah.
You know, it's the contemplation. That's it's ultimately the contemplation that gets you to a higher level of understanding.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely. And the willingness to be wrong, you know, and the being okay with being wrong. You know, I think that is one of the, it's huge, you know, because if you find out that you're wrong about something, then it's one less thing that you even need to put any more energy into, you know what I mean? And now you can look at something else. And so a lot of people are really afraid to be wrong, man, you know, but I think it's okay at times.
Oh, dude, it's actually, I love being wrong. Like I love when I'm not saying that like I just blindly believe if somebody tells me that I'm wrong. Like show me how I'm wrong and we can talk about it and hopefully you can shed some light on something that I didn't think needed shedded light on. You know, that's
and,
always
you know,
good.
When you do go inward, you know, and you experience something that isn't of the nature of the thing that you were thinking was true, then you go, okay, well then what is it then? Because what I thought it wasn't. So now let me investigate and let me really try to figure out what's going on in my inner world. Damn it.
Absolutely. So today we are going to take on the big, overwhelming questions of existence, and we're going to explore them from every angle: scientific, mystical, psychological, and beyond. So today's episode might just change the way you see everything around you. Have you ever had one of those moments where you realized almost painfully that the way you're feeling inside seems to be echoed by the outside world? How many times
every day, dude.
How many times do we do an episode and people are like, I was just thinking that. You literally said that for today, like
before we started
episode.
Recording. Yeah, like,
Isn't that strange?
And that actually does happen more times than not. You'll bring up an idea, a topic, and I'm like, oh, cool, because I was just thinking blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's exactly on par with, yeah, how does that even work?
What are the chances?
I don't know, dude. Perfect, I guess.
Yeah.
Lately.
Yeah. So when you're anxious, the smallest things go wrong. When you're at peace, things seem to flow effortlessly. It's almost as if reality itself bends to match what's going on within you. This isn't just poetic. It's one of the most profound truths whispered throughout the ages. As within, so without. From ancient mystics to modern neuroscience, from Hermetic philosophy to quantum physics, we're going to explore how your inner world is not just shaping, but actively creating your outer experience.
Which doesn't even sound like it should work that way. You know, it really, if you just listening to you say that, it's like, that doesn't sound like something that is even physically possible. But when it comes down to your perception, now you're seeing what your inner world is and outwardly. So then you look at it that way and it's like, okay, that really makes sense now. You know?
That's whenever
it's really not even that difficult.
Well, and whenever people say perception is reality, it's like, pretty much.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
where we're at.
You know, actually, and we're going to come up on it, but and obviously, if we're getting into neuroscience, we're going to be talking a little bit about Joe Dispenza because he's the GOAT of neuroscience.
Yeah, because why not? You know.
But one of his quotes that he says that is like one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard in my life. He goes, "Your personality is your personal reality." I'm like, oh my God.
I don't even think I've heard that. That's cool. I like it, dude.
So yeah, let's start right here. The Hermetic key, as above, so below. Our journey begins with the Hermetic principle of correspondence from the Kabbalion. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. This principle suggests that the microcosm and the macrocosm reflect each other. Your inner thoughts, emotions, and spiritual state are mirrored in the external circumstances of your life. It's not metaphor, it's law. In the esoteric view, life is not random, it's reflective. You don't change the mirror by smudging it. You change the person standing in front of it. This means that your relationships, your work, even your quote-unquote luck, are reflections of the deeper patterns within your psyche and soul. This is why ancient mystics believed that self-mastery was the key to understanding the external world. If the kingdom is a mess within, the queendom without will follow suit.
Absolutely does, dude. You know, if you're ever having like a super fucked up day and you're in like, and usually you'll notice that you're having a fucked up day, like things aren't going right when you're not in a great mood. Like it's just this extra layer of bullshit that you're like, okay, of course I'm in a bad mood and I'm late for work and, you know, I got to stop and get air in my tire. And, you know, and you start just noticing all of this stuff. And it's like, well, no wonder. It's like, which came first, the bad day or your mood and energy going into it, you know? And then the trick is at that point is to go just stop yourself and go, oh, you know what I mean? That I think is the layer or the point in time where people maybe don't usually get to. I barely am coming to this understanding just recently where things were going really bad. And then I'm running late and I pull into a parking lot, right? And then I'm trying to get to this other place, but there's like a median, so I can't go this way. So I had to back all the way back out, go into the parking lot on the other side, and I'm already like feeling like I'm in a rush and I'm running late. Then I go, oh, and I just like, what? And I was, because I was getting frustrated. And so then I was like, okay. So I stopped and I'm like, okay. And I started pointing out all of the reasons why it's better that it worked out this way. And then everything calmed down, my mood changed, and then everything was fine after that. Dude. You know, and it's like, did I just see that happen in real time? Like, the ability to transmute my mind and my reality at the same time.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, dude. And this is something, it is harder than it sounds. So I definitely commend you for that. It's one of those things, if you're caught in the moment, if something is just agitating you, something's frustrating you, something's just pissing you the hell off, right? It is hard to come back to your center and be like, all right, how is my emotion and my reaction going to implicate my life in the next few moments, minutes, hours, days, whatever, right? Yeah. And so it's a discipline is really what it is. So yeah, it's very important to stay water. It's very important to stay in the middle for almost, I mean, everything. I can't even think about what you wouldn't want to stay in the middle for.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, as soon as that happened, and it was kind of weird because it's like one of those moments where you realize like your level of awareness picks up, right? And you just like realize like, oh, I'm doing this or whatever. I don't know exactly why that happens sometimes as opposed to other times. But once that happened, then I was like, oh, so because this happened, by the time I get to this place to pick up food, the food's going to be ready. I don't even got to sit and wait. You know, I could just pick it up and go. And like, I started thinking about it and things went exactly that way. You know, it's like,
it's amazing how that just works out that way. I'll give you an example actually. So, it was about a month ago and my parents came down to Texas and stayed with me for a few days. Right. Whenever they got here, I was outside cooking on the grill. Right. And so I was outside cooking on the grill. I had my son who is 2. He's coming up on 3. He's a big boy. But I had both of my kids there. And my son loves to go in the apartment whenever I'm outside and lock the door. He's done it more than once. And there was a time before where I was like, oh my God, what if he does this? What if he does that? What if I can't get in? I'm going to have to break a window. Then I'm going to have to pay for it and all this other crap, right?
Yeah.
And so usually I would start tripping out. But in that moment, I was like, you know, because my mom was starting to trip and then my daughter was starting to trip. And me and my dad, almost at the same exact time, were just like, calm down. Like your emotions are not going to help you in this circumstance. Just figure out a way to fix the problem here. And dude, wouldn't you know it? I mean, I felt a little weird about it, but my window was not locked and I was able to, you know, get my daughter to crawl through the window and go and lock the door.
Right.
And so I don't know, was it like our minds easing the situation that allowed us to come to the clear-headed circumstance to check and see if any of the windows were, you know what I mean? Because you would normally be like, oh, I got to call the office. I got to do this. I got to do that.
You're overcomplicating and making things a much harder, more scary situation, when ultimately the situation stayed the same. Nothing in physical reality changed. It's your mind and how you perceived it. And then you get a clear head, and then you go, oh, the window's open.
Right. And so the goal, or I think the lesson that I learned from there, is that your reaction is not going to, change the pickle that you're in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like a lot of times, as far as what we're learning with the Hermetic principles and everything, it's like, your reaction is kind of feeding into, worst case scenario. And maybe that worst case scenario manifests itself in reality. Like what if me and my dad were both tripping? We're like, oh my God, we're never going to get in here. I wonder if that window wouldn't have been unlocked.
One of the windows would have got smashed because you guys would have panicked. You guys would have fed into it. Yeah, exactly. No, it wouldn't have went so nice.
Yes. So anyhow, let's get on to the next segment, and we are going to talk about the neuroscience of perception, your brain's reality filter. So
shit. That's all it is anyway.
Now we're going to ground this in some science for all of you science people out there that need the logical understanding of it, which is totally fine.
I'm one of those people. I love it.
Your brain is constantly bombarded with 11 million bits of sensory data per second.
I can believe that.
11 million bits per second. That is crazy. Yet you consciously process only about 50 bits. So how do you choose which 50? That's where the reticular activating system, or the RAS, comes in, a network of neurons in your brainstem that filters information based on what you focus on. If you're convinced the world is hostile, your RAS highlights evidence of danger. If you believe opportunities are abound, you suddenly, quote unquote, notice opportunities everywhere. This isn't magic, it's neurology. So it creates what psychologists call a cognitive bias loop. Your inner beliefs shape what you notice. What you notice reinforces your beliefs, and this loop writes the script for your outer world. As Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
There it is. What were those two numbers again, just for sake, the bits of information?
So there are 11 million bits of sensory data per second. Everybody per second is looking at 11 million bits of sensory data per second.
And how much can we narrow into?
50.
50.
Yeah.
So if that's not you seeing being able to actually experience the reality in its entirety, I don't know what is.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the light spectrum. We only see, actually, that's probably the exact same percentage of the light spectrum that we see.
I'm almost certain of it. That to me right there is just proof of how malleable our reality is and how we experience it. When it's just a matter of where we are directing those 50 bits to really actually put energy into and take advantage of, or to, not take advantage of, but utilize.
Exactly. Rather. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just
out of 11 million?
11 million bits. Yep.
Holy shit.
Per second.
God. All right.
So whenever you're constantly seeing 1111 or 444 or whatever, you have trained your mind to look for these things. It's already picking up on 11 million bits of information per second. And now your brain doesn't see that as useless anymore.
Right.
Your brain sees that as something that could benefit you and could help you. I'm not here to say that it's like not an angel number. It's not your spirits that are telling you. I'm not saying that.
It's whatever you want it to be, really. Let's, but in that moment when you do see 1111 or any synchronicity, like if you're seeing a shit ton of synchronicities, it's only going to help you, because if you actually apply those 50 bits of data to your advantage, you know what I mean? When you have that level of awareness and you can pick your head up from that just almost automatic living, let's just call it, because you're just doing things, whether you're responding to something or just reacting to lifing. You know what I mean? When you do have a synchronicity and you can pull your awareness up and go, okay, now let me direct those 50 bits real quick to something I actually want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So essentially, you kind of can look at it like, have you heard of the quantum computers?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes. I
God.
don't really know the ins and outs and how that's even a thing,
Bro,
but
how they're able to process so fast. They say that what a quantum computer can do in a minute, it would take a regular computer like 10,000 years.
yeah, something
Like
like
something
lifetimes, right? Yeah.
extremely ridiculous. I don't know
Yeah.
the exact numbers, but it's something ridiculous like that.
Right.
And they
I just
say
didn't know where they came up with the whole quantum aspect. Like, what makes it quantum? Is it because they're tapping into all of potentiality at that point, and then
They
they're coming
say-
up with answers, or
they say that they are tapping into every parallel universe that is around here. So
Now-
every layer of reality, every dimension to this reality, they are pulling information from. Now I know that seems kind of crazy, but string theory has proven up to at least the 11th dimension.
see, and you know, I was looking into string theory. Not that I am smart enough to even understand it, but things that I have heard as far as string theory goes is that they haven't really like proven a whole lot. Like, there hasn't been a lot garnered from string theory. Surely I'm sure there's something there. I don't know, but as far as I know, I don't know how they're getting the 11 dimensions from that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love
We
to
might have to look
understand
into
a
it
little bit
just
more.
to enlighten ourselves.
Yeah, I
but
think we're gonna have to do a string theory episode.
Yeah.
And try and understand it to the best of our ability.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
like
it's a lot like how does Danny Goler do DMT and prove to everybody that he is watching aliens play on fucking screens of this reality?
Right.
It's like that's
Yeah.
the same thing as and we're not here to say that he's like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs by any means. We believe what the fuck
No,
he's saying.
I absolutely don't think that about
But
him.
but
No way.
how do you prove that? You know,
Right.
and he's
Yeah.
doing it in the best way that he knows how to with the laser and everything else, which is really
Right.
awesome still.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the one, like I said, and I've said it before, the most fascinating thing I've ever even heard of. It's really cool. I don't know where it's going, but I really like what he's doing. Now, as far as going back to like the quantum computer, they say, you know, it's pulling information from maybe possible parallel realities, but is that what they mean? Or is it more of like you know what I'm saying? Is it just like another way of saying something else, or is it actually what's happening? Is what I'm trying to say. Does
I
that make
think
sense?
they literally mean it. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy, right?
Say that again. My bad, dude.
No, I think that they literally mean it in the literal sense.
Well, that's pretty awesome, man. I hope that's true.
I know. I mean, I hope it
Because
is
like
too.
people that say that alternate realities and shit like that doesn't exist, it's like, well, then what are they doing? Like, how is this not more mainstream and like well understood that they're doing some crazy shit?
Right. And all that to say, who's to say that like like the light it goes back to the light spectrum to me. You know, like you can't sit here and say that the color Yerple doesn't exist on the light spectrum. You know what I mean? Like it must exist.
Right.
And just because we can't see it or can't imagine it doesn't mean that it doesn't real. It's just we don't have the proper gear to be able to see all of it.
Yeah, I actually thought about this recently when I got my eyes dilated, and I could be very wrong. Maybe I'm thinking about this totally backwards. But when I had my eyes dilated, my pupils, when they do that, they give you 2 eye drops in each eye, and then your pupils dilate, and so they open up, and so now it's almost like your eyes are taking in the most amount of light that they can possibly take in. And so now I don't know, and I could be wrong. I don't know if it's more like a camera, like how you snap a picture. I forget all the terminology, but if the little window stays open longer, it's gonna allow more light for a longer period of time,
The
making
little
the
shutter
image,
thing.
yes, making the image look a lot more bright. And so I imagine that's not what's happening with your eyeball. I could be wrong, but when my pupils open all the way and everything is way brighter, this is what I was thinking, and I could be wrong. But am I seeing reality for what it really is for maybe not even necessarily for what it really is, but the way that I normally see? Is that not how it's supposed to be, or is that just my eyes dimming the light down perfectly enough so that I can get just enough contrast to make sense of things.
I think that that's really
You know what I'm
what's
saying?
going. I think that that's really what's going on in our day to day life is that our
The filter,
not only
right?
our brain but our eyes connect right to the brain and sends back information and tells us how to process it within our mind. And
Right.
so yeah, I think that without the filter, there would be it would be hard to find any context to this reality. And so I think that what you were seeing very well could have been maybe
Closer to objective reality than what I see with my eyes not dilated.
possibly. Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's actually brighter than what I'm normally used to seeing. But with my eyes dilated, I'm able to see more light. That's how I took it, and I could be completely wrong, but it's still interesting
Oh,
to the
dude.
fact that I've never seen outside that bright before.
So we haven't
know what I mean?
we haven't done a near death experience episode in a minute. We used to do them like once a month.
Oh yeah, we'll get back on it.
But if you think about it, what people say whenever they come into the same room as God, right? They're like, "Oh my God, it's so bright. It's it's so much light I can't even look at it."
Yeah.
Like maybe there's a little parallel there. I don't know.
Yeah, and the actual reality that exists isn't exactly what we are used to seeing. Like I said, I don't know exactly how the eyeball works, and I could be wrong, but it's still fun. It was still really interesting to think about, and just the not the perception, but fuck, I can't think of the word, but yeah, just looking at it in that way, like, oh, it was just interesting. It was definitely way more fun than my dentist appointment.
Oh yeah,
saying?
yeah. Dentist appointments suck.
Yeah.
By the way, dentists. I mean, everybody hates them, right? Like it's like,
oh yeah,
like if you told somebody you were a lawyer, it's like everybody hates you. You just kind of understand that. I bet you dentists feel the same way.
Oh, I'm absolutely certain of it. The optometrist, I'm sure that's what they call eye doctors. I'm not sure, but when he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got to put these eye drops in." I'm like, do your worst. I said, I was just at the dentist last week, and I said, this is going great. This is fun. I'm seeing different light that I've never seen before. All of the edges in my reality have like this weird blur effect to it. I said, this is way cooler.
Well, and that's what's so fun about like, just you having that one thought. Yeah, I think that everybody, for some reason or another, we're just like, we define things by what's real and what's not real. But whenever you can play in the playground of the imagination of a kid and curious and wonder and fascination and imagination, like that, it's so much more fun. And that, I believe, is what opens you up to even more thoughts that you never would have thought before. Whenever you're playing in that curious playground, if this, then that, if this, then that, it's like, dude, I'm telling you, we need to be there more frequently than what we are.
Absolutely, dude. It was definitely one of those times where I started to not question reality, but just in a sense, just like pondering that idea of, okay, so if my eyes are dilated, I'm taking in more light. What if it was that my eyes had more of an effect where it took even more light away, and that was my reality? Like it's just dependent on what my eyes were taking in, really. And everything was blurry, dude. I was like, oh shit, this is what it's like to really need glasses.
Yeah.
It's like, shit.
Well, as we said earlier, it's like, dude, I mean, you learn so much more in contemplation than in anything else.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, anyhow, we're going to get to the next segment here, and that is a parable of two wolves. All right.
Okay.
This is actually a fun story. It's a short story. So an old Cherokee elder told his grandson, "There's a battle inside of me. Two wolves. One is of fear, anger, greed, and despair. The other one is of joy, love, peace, and hope. These wolves are fighting for control of my soul." The boy asked, "Well, which wolf wins?" The elder replied, "The one that you feed." This simple parable captures the essence of today's topic. The wolf you feed inside, the emotions, thoughts, and stories that you entertain, eventually take shape outside. It's the inner world to the outer world and vice versa. It's the microcosm and the macrocosm. Every single thing is a Mandelbrot set. If you really look at it,
No, that's perfect. If you would have continued to feed into the panic and the, I don't know what I'm going to do and what could happen and what could my kid end up doing if he's stuck in there, and if you would have just kept feeding that wolf, you know what I mean? Your reality would have been much different, instead of going, wait a minute, hold on, and taking that pause and bringing your awareness and going, okay, calm down. Now let's feed the other wolf. The other wolf knows what to do.
Yeah, I mean, and similarly, it was back around Christmas time that I ran into another circumstance like that. Whenever I went to the mall in Katy, Texas, and there was an active shooter situation. Everybody's running and screaming and crying and calling their loved ones and saying their prayers and panicking, and I'm just like, bro, what's gonna happen is gonna happen, regardless of how I react to this. And that's just it brought me so much peace even thinking that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's more valuable than reacting personally.
Oh yeah, moving in clarity. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next segment, we're going to be getting into frequencies and the law of resonance. So we're going to move from parable to physics here. Energy resonates. If you strike a tuning fork at 432 hertz, another fork at the same frequency will begin to vibrate even without being touched. Human consciousness works the same way. Modern mystic Joe Dispenza explains this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Your personality creates your personal reality. To change your life, you must change yourself. So this ties into David Hawkins, the map of consciousness that we showed in the previous episode, which measures emotional states as vibrational frequencies. Shame equaling 20 hertz is the lowest state. Fear coming out at 100 hertz is survival-based and contracting. Courage at 200 hertz, they call the gateway to higher living is courage. So it's not exactly where you want to be, but it's a damn good step to make.
Oh yeah, it's definitely leading you to more potential of positive change.
Yes. Next, and this isn't all of them in a row. It's just pointing out some of the big ones. So love at 500 hertz, which is transformative and healing. And then ultimately you run into enlightenment, which ranges from 700 hertz to 1,000 hertz, which would be pure consciousness.
Whoa. Give me some of that. Just a little bit. Just a taste.
Yeah, a dab will do you, baby. So next we go to the quantum consciousness and the observer effect. So quantum physics adds an unexpected layer to this conversation. Particles exist in multiple potential states until observed. This is the observer effect. Conscious observation collapses the wave of potential into a single reality. If consciousness can influence subatomic particles, is it so far-fetched to imagine that our sustained attention, our beliefs, emotions, and intentions might shape the larger reality that we live in?
Holy shit, dude. Utilizing those 50 bits, dude.
That's it. That's
Holy
it.
Fuck.
As your boy Sad Guru puts it, the world is not happening to you. You are happening to the world.
Absolutely. God, man. Fuck. We've come a long way, right?
Bars, dude. Bars.
On some shit.
Next, we're going to go to another parable. This one is called the mirror room. So a man enters a hall of mirrors. At first, he smiles, and the room smiles back. But then he scowls, and suddenly 100 scowling faces glare at him. He storms out, thinking that the hall was full of enemies. But the truth is that the room only reflected what he brought into it. Our world works the same way. Life reflects. It doesn't initiate.
That's great, man.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Great. And we've all experienced this, whether you walk into a room and you're in a pissy mood or you're in a good mood. I feel like you literally can change the atmosphere of a room, if you really want to. And you have that energy about you.
I feel like a lot of people wonder to what exact effect does that work? Is it minimal? Is it maximum? So whenever you walk into a room and you bring the high energy and the smiles and the lightheartedness and the joking and stuff like that, whenever you bring that into a room of, let's just say, even people that are, in the middle, right? Like could go one way or another.
Yeah.
Your energy, your aura, whatever you're bringing to the room can literally transform the conversation, can transform the emotions of the people in the room, and it can transform literally the reality of the room that you go into. So as Bashar says, literally, we are jumping from reality to reality every millisecond. I think that within this frame of thought, you're really, if you really want to change your life, you got to take control of how you feel, of how you think, of what you project, not only into your mind, but into the outer world, because it does work just that way.
I think so too. And I think, when it comes to human biology and just how the brain works, when somebody is doing something and maybe they're in a good mood and they're smiling, and I feel like there's a part of your brain that wants to mirror that, just instinctively. I think it's just a part of how human nature is. And so if you go into a room like that, you're probably going to have more people that want to reflect that back at you. Only amplifying how you already feel. And so it's just literally that is your reality now, at least in that room.
Well, and this is the thing. And we're going to get to it, but whenever witches do rituals or magicians do a ritual or something like that, is it not just projected intention and then setting your mind towards something, and you think that by doing this ritual, it's going to cause your reality to go this way, and now you're opened up, so your 50 bits of information is now focused on this potential?
That's exactly what's happening. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's exactly what's happening.
It makes sense.
You almost expect it to be so, and so you look for it. I mean, you don't even think you have to look for it. It's more of a subconscious level that you're going to see that, and so that is now your reality as you move through it. Because you've already put it out there.
I mean,
it's just waiting for you now.
You programmed your mind now, and it's just like in the book with the magician and Philip Cooper. He goes, look, yes, you want to be able to have all of these items to use in your ritual, and you want to be able to stare into the flame, and you want to be able to, have your sword and your shield and all these other things, right? Because they are all representations of what's going to be taking place within your mind. But eventually, the magician doesn't need any of that material shit in order to get there in his mind, right? And so after a while, all of these are really just instruments that you are projecting your energy, your consciousness, everything, the battery that you are projecting that into these tools. So me and Sean were talking a little bit earlier, and I was like, look, this crystal, if you think this way, then if you're the battery, then this crystal is really just a rock. Let's just be real. Let's just call it what it is. It's just a rock. But if you can project your energy into this crystal, now it can be used, and you can look at it as if it's not only just a totem for whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to amplify. It is now an accelerator, because the way that you're looking at this crystal now is like the engine. It's like, you were the battery, and now this is the engine that takes it over.
Right. And it works the same way in the opposite. If you think that, and we were talking about this before recording, as far as walking under a ladder, and you absolutely believe that you shouldn't do that because it's definitely bad luck. And if you do that, you're definitely going to witness or experience something as such. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it works exactly the same way. To someone that doesn't believe or have any type of association with the idea that walking underneath a ladder is bad luck, then, if you're that person, you can walk under a ladder and you're not going to experience bad luck. Or if something does happen that is inherently not a good thing that you would prefer, you're not going to associate that with because you walked under a ladder. You know what I'm saying? It's all of the mind.
Well, and the same thing works.
What you accept.
And the same thing works for symbols. Symbols, all symbols is just like, it's just understood energy attached to these things of what you believe them to be.
Yeah.
So for example, shout out to our boy Isaac, who created this Oregon Ankh for me, right? I could look at this, and every time I look at it, it is a symbol in my mind that represents the key to understanding, the key that Thoth had to go so deep and so far to be able to find, right? He went so deep as far as searching for truth and information and wisdom and everything, and this was at the end of the road, this bad boy. That's what this Ankh represents, right? So in my mind, I don't need to remember the entire story because the symbol encompasses the entire story, right? But even the symbol itself is just a tool to remind my mind of what the whole story of everything attached to it is. It's all mind. Everything is mental.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And here we are.
God, I love this shit.
That's great. I also saw something about the Ankh as far as it being like the production system, so it's like the womb with the fallopian tubes and the birthing canal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh, that's also the key to life.
Well,
right?
and it makes sense too, because you know what they call the womb in the Bible?
No.
The Matrix.
Oh, I think you have. Yes, I think you have told me that. That's cool.
You're entering the Matrix.
Your
bro.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Matrix.
Your Matrix.
That's
yeah.
why you're the main character.
That's it. So, speaking of, we're going to get into archetypes and ancient wisdom. Every tradition whispers the same truth. Christian mysticism, I feel like we bring this one up every time, that the kingdom of God is within you. That is Luke chapter 17, verse 21. Then you go to Gnosticism, which says the outer world is a projection of the soul's inner state.
You see what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and you can call it cherry picking or whatever, but it's like, I don't care about, all of the ins and outs, but that right there is such a cool thing to know. If that's true, it's like, okay, I'm going to take that and just assume that's true. The kingdom of heaven is within me. And so if my inner world is my outer world, then that potential is there for me to create that heavenly existence outside of myself.
And even to take it a step further, the Hindus call it the Maya, right? And the Maya is the illusion. So if everything around you is an illusion, every single thing, I'm not trying to sit here and say, well, you can pretend that Mack truck's not going to run you over and kill you. Get out of here with all that.
No, that's
not what we're talking about. We're talking about if the reality that you exist in is an illusion, then that means the illusion is malleable.
Yes.
That's it. It's based solely, I'm not even going to say solely. Your inner state does have a projection that projects outward. And perception being reality, I think that it only makes sense that whatever we put our attention to, it's going to manipulate it. Just like in quantum physics, just like the double slit experiment. Whenever somebody's watching, it will either collapse or it will stay the same.
Exactly. And I think that, you say like your reality, but I think maybe what we're talking about is that, and I know people are going to understand this as far as how you saw the world before and how you saw the world after your awakening, let's say. You understand when I say the underlying story of sorts that you live by, the things that you don't have to think about, but it's just there, and this reality is that, you know what I mean? And then that gets rocked, and now it's not that. You know what I'm saying? That's the essence that you're talking about.
Exactly.
The matrix, the malleable part of your existence. Not necessarily you can make a Mack truck disappear. No, it's of the mind and the understanding of what all of this is.
Right. Yes. I mean, you still got to work somewhat with the natural algorithm of this Maya anyway. It's just to say that you and your perception and your thoughts influence it.
Yes, and dictates how you operate through it.
Exactly. So to jump even farther, Taoism, one of our favorite ways of looking at this reality, says that the Tao that is in you is the Tao that is of the universe.
I get with that.
Taoism is always on some shit. Bro, do you want to hear this gangster quote? And we talk about him every episode. And I'm banging on the table. We're going to do an episode on Rumi one of these days.
We got to.
The Sufi mystic, his quote, this will give you shivers.
All right.
This quote, he goes, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself."
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah. Trying to change the world, that's I don't know, that's almost foolish to even think you can, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Isn't it? It's just like, no, I don't think that's possible. But you can change yourself and how you experience it, for sure. Definitely.
Yes. And a lot of people will say, well, that is kind of selfish of you. You're just changing your inner reality. You're changing your perception of this reality. But it's actually the least selfish thing I believe that any one person can do. Because if you're changing your world for the better, then everybody that is around you is going to be able to sense
Gets the fruits of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if everybody did it, now the world has changed.
Now it is. Yes.
Right.
So these aren't just nice quotes. They are instructions for how to live. Nextly, we're going to get into shadow work and Jungian projection. Carl Jung. So, oh, I love this shit. So Carl Jung gave us one of the greatest tools for understanding why our outer life often seems like a battlefield. Projection, he says. When we deny parts of ourselves, our anger, fear, desires, they don't disappear. They project outward, showing up as quote unquote difficult people or bad luck or unfair systems.
Yeah.
What a good quote.
Absolutely true. It's all based on the assumptions that we have about the world. You know,
he
look at
goes,
it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel it's just, it seems so simple, doesn't it? Like, that's what I love about it. But he goes, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Carl Jung says that. So working with the shadow, bringing the unconscious into the light, untangles these projections. It changes the way that we experience the world because it changes the way that we see ourselves.
Yeah, and just to make a somewhat of a simple example of that, if there's like an old friend of yours that you know very well, and maybe they got under your skin a bunch growing up, and so you get a chance to see them, and in your mind you already kind of know the shit they're gonna pull. You're going into this event like almost anticipating someone to be a certain way, and so then when you interact with that person, you're almost already defensive, or you're almost already like ready for some bullshit. You know what I mean? So now you're already in that reality before the other person even said anything. And then they open their mouth and they're actually like a pretty nice dude because people can change. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've worked with people and I guess I look like a douchebag. I guess I just give off that douchebag look.
Just a little bit, not much.
Whatever. But I used to work with people and they'd be like, whenever I first met you, I didn't want to talk to you because you just look like you'd be a douche. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. Right. I appreciate the honesty. But then they're like, then you get to know you. It's like you don't act or think or do anything about like how you look, and so it kind of throws people off. But most
another
people,
perfect example of that.
Who was it? Was it Marbella or Shannon or somebody that like they said that for this kind of show, the last people that they would expect to be talking about these kind of things would be people that look like us.
Oh, right. That's why it works.
I'm like,
it's been working out.
Really, we're shapeshifters and we're just giving off the illusion that we're normal people.
Yeah. We're just transmuting it,
That'd be it.
I was born this way. I don't have really a choice in the matter.
I mean, you were lucky. You're a sexy beast, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So the next segment this is where it's going to get, well, I mean, not that it's not already awesome, but speaking with guardians, angels, gods, and ancestors, resonance with the higher realms. So,
okay.
We're going to rope everybody in on this. We're basically the modern day Roman Empire trying to just
we're
say,
getting everybody.
Look, you pagans, we got the same shit over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, get in. The water's warm.
Yeah. It's kind of Luke, if you will. So
we got that too.
So across cultures and throughout history, people have sought guidance from angels, ancestors, gods, spirits, and guardians. They pray, meditate, leave offerings, or perform rituals, asking for signs, blessings, or direction. From the Christian who prays to Saint Michael for protection, to the Yoruba priestess calling upon the Orishas, to the shaman invoking their ancestral spirits, this practice is universal, reaching out to the higher realms for help. But here's the question worth exploring. When we do this, are we simply asking for help from above, in quotes, or are we also creating a resonance within ourselves that aligns us with the guidance that we seek? So, consider this. When you pray with deep faith or perform a ritual for guidance, you shift your vibration into one of receptivity, trust, and connection. This interchange creates a resonance that allows you to perceive answers, signs, and synchronicities that were always present, but previously unseen. So in other words, you're not just passively waiting for an angel or ancestor to intervene. You are meeting them halfway, tuning yourself to their frequency. This is that red shift, blue shift, right?
Yep.
This may explain why so many spiritual traditions emphasize gratitude and expectancy when calling upon divine help. It's not just to honor the beings that they're speaking to, it's to cultivate the inner state that makes those blessings possible. Perhaps prayer, offerings, and invocations are less about asking and more about aligning. So maybe it's an either or type of situation. Maybe it's both. The guidance comes from above and from within simultaneously. When we speak to angels, guardians, or ancestors, we're entering into a dialogue with the universe that transforms us, allowing those blessings to flow through in ways that we can recognize. So, as the mystic Meister Eckhart once said, the eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me.
Dude,
Banger.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, as far as when you reach out to, let's say you're dealing with some shit, right? And you go into that prayer, you go into reaching out to your higher self, or whatever it is you want to call it. In that moment, you're simply taking yourself out of just things happening to you. You know what I mean? You're like taking that moment to, and maybe it's the 50 bits that we were talking about earlier. You're taking that time to aim all of those 50 bits into one situation or one dilemma, and then you're accessing that genius or that clarity mind, because now you're not so scattered, 11 million bits trying to take it all in at once. You're narrowing that focus in on something. And so it's really giving you that clarity. Hence the genius or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you would want to call it at that point. This reality is malleable and it pertains to your personal relationship with it.
To you. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like it's not even important to try to get somebody else to believe what you believe, because that thing that you use, that thing that you interact with is just for you. It's for your existence.
That's it, dude. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's just how I'm seeing it these days.
This is the reason why we're never going to be those people that go and knock at your door and tell you that we have good news and have you heard it. We're not going to be the ones. We're not going to be the ones that are out there proselytizing. We're not going to be the ones that tell you that you're going to this negative place or that negative place if you choose not to follow what we believe. This is for the individual. We are not speaking to the masses. Each and every single individual of the one that is listening to this episode right now, this is not to everybody that's listening to this. This is to you, the individual, you, the person that is listening to this. Every single episode that we get into, it is for you. We don't mean the all-encompassing you. We mean you, the one person that is in your car right now by yourself, driving to work, on your way to work, and you're thinking this, you're thinking that, but we're just giving you a little bit of information that's going to make you think. That's it.
Yep. Nobody else is listening to this. Just you.
You're the only one.
Somehow we made that work.
Somehow, yeah. Of all the infinite possibilities of this existence, of this matrix, of this simulation, and somehow you are listening to this very specific episode at this very specific point in your life. It is so the odds of you listening to this in this moment are literally slim to none. Would be giving it an even higher odds. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's so minimal, the odds that you're listening to this, you, the individual that is wherever you are. So just want to say that
just the one person, it was a technical nightmare, but we made it happen. Only you're listening to this.
We did it for you, Neo.
Yeah.
All right. So when we call out to the higher realms, maybe it's not just us seeking them. It's them calling us into resonance with what was waiting for us all along.
Love it.
Beautiful. So that's the point is that we're not trying to tell you that what you believe is wrong or stupid or false or whatever. It's that maybe you can understand the actual power that you have within you whenever you do go and have those conversations with your guardians, with your angels, with your ancestors, with your guides or whoever, and understand that your words have way more importance and your thoughts have way more importance than you ever thought. You are an actual magician, whether you believe it or not.
Yep. And that's the magic. You know?
That is the magic. Yes. So there are some practical applications for this. Inner work as outer alchemy.
Okay.
Shout out to Paulo Coelho with the Alchemist book. That was such a banger book, dude.
Yes, dude. I got so much from that.
I
So
did
much
too.
more than I even thought I would. Having it be like a story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was so much in there that if you really dissect little parts, it was actually just brilliant, man.
I love that he's a Brazilian too. So,
Right.
because my son is half Brazilian, and like I'm full on Team Brazil now. So if you get an awesome person out of Brazil like that, I'm like, yes, I almost feel a connection to it, you know.
Right.
Even though I'm as white as
You're
a
a white.
cloud. So anyway, so if our inner world sculpts our outer reality, then inner work is the most practical thing that we can do. So this is where you get into the same shit that we always talk about, meditation. It calms the nervous system and clears the RAS filter. Clears that filter. That was
RAS filter.
the reticular activating system. Damn, how did I just remember that?
That was great. I did that for you. I knew what it was. I was just making sure that was locked in.
He just projected that into my mind. He got it.
Yeah, I got it. I had it,
But yeah, it's that filter that you bring in the 8 million bits of information per second that you dilute it down to 50. But even before you dilute it down to 50, whenever you go into meditation, it's zero. It's nothingness. You are barely a wave in a very stale, stagnant pond.
Right. Yeah. The absence of bits.
The absence. Yes.
Yep.
Then there's visualization. So visualization helps to program the subconscious to see opportunities aligned with our goals. So, it's just like Mr. Coach Klein said, visualize the attack. Visualize the attack.
That's it. That's it.
Then there's gratitude practices. So raising your emotional frequency and shifting your perception whenever you are in gratitude. That's why they say whenever you pray, thank you for making this, thank you for granting me this, or thank you for giving this bit of wisdom or knowledge, or thank you for putting me into a situation in which I know that you have the power to do.
As if it is so. Yeah.
That is literally undying faith. You know what I'm saying? So
power to it, man.
The next one is shadow work. It integrates the parts of ourselves that project chaos outward.
Oh, yep.
That's an interesting way of putting it. I like it. So change the blueprint and the building must follow.
Oh, shit. That's cool. That just gets me to think of Nigel Perryman, actually, because he was talking about the blueprint and creating your own world inside your mind, dude. We were supposed to have him on tonight, but we will have him on soon. I promise you guys.
It wasn't the right night.
No, and we know how this goes down. Every time something like this happens, when we do eventually get to record, it ends up being even better than anyone could have imagined. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's
magical time.
You go from why is the world happening to me to why is it happening for me?
That's it.
That's it.
Pronoia, dude.
Pronoia, exactly. You may as well just be pronoia all the time.
Might as well, dude. What are we doing?
I mean, you want to project that negativity? Go ahead. That's up to you.
You can do that. It's very possible.
Exactly. So nextly, we are going to get into the segment of the science of change in regards to neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity shows us that the brain is not fixed. It rewires based on experience and thought. Every time you choose a higher perspective or a new emotional response, you carve a new neural pathway. This isn't just spiritual, it's physiological. Your brain becomes what you practice. Over time, the outer world changes because you are literally becoming someone new. And this is why psychedelics are so powerful.
For some. Maybe not for everybody. Okay, let's just be real. All right. Most people probably.
For everybody, but not everybody's ready for that.
Right. Yes.
You know what
everybody eventually.
If you do mushrooms, it will have this effect.
Right. Yeah.
There is no like it might work, it'll work. Every time it works. And that's and you see that even within the what is it called? The mushroom pathway under the ground.
The mycelium network.
Yes, you are on it today, sir.
I took that from the ether, dude. Really?
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah, that was not mine. I will not take ownership. Anyway,
the mycelium network, yes, it and it all connects, and it helps trees communicate with each other. It helps plants communicate with each other. The trees are usually like the fathers of the forest, if you just look at it like this. And the way that the fathers of the forest communicates with all of its kids, aka the bushes, the shrubs, the plants, whatever, the root system, the dirt even, is by the mycelial network. And so if you think about it, the mushrooms are already doing this in nature, connecting things that, wouldn't be able to be connected without the mushrooms, right? So whenever you ingest mushrooms, that is what is going on in your brain. Literally, physically, physiologically, it is happening.
Making way more connections within your mind.
It is
in your brain.
And that's what's so powerful about it, because most people, you're either logical or you're imaginative. You're either left-brained or you're right-brained. And the beautiful thing about mushrooms and psychedelics in general is that it helps build it builds a bridge, bro.
Right.
It builds a actual bridge within your mind, and it helps certain logical parts of your mind bridge certain imaginative parts of your mind, so that now that you are looking at things not only from a logical perspective, but from the electrified imaginative part of your brain that is basically helping your logical brain advance even farther than you ever thought.
Oh yeah, and I think that anytime somebody creates something or comes to a new idea of how something might work, they are already using both of those things. You know what I mean? They are definitely tapping into their imagination to come up with maybe a premise, and then sending that through the logical side of their mind and seeing how that tastes. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of going back and forth, and that's how new things come about. It's the co-creation, if you will.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And so it's really just such a beautiful thing. I tell you, dude, like, if it wasn't for psychedelics, I would not be talking about this right now.
Like, no, there's no way.
I'm dead ass. No, like, I really wouldn't even be interested in this kind of stuff.
Because that world wouldn't even exist for you. That would not be in your reality. That perception, that understanding of a possible world that you never even could have imagined.
Oh, dude, it's the experience that you get to experience in those experiences, I guess.
Yeah.
Perfect. That literally, like, it shapes reality in such a different way. And it's just so fascinating.
That's neuroplasticity. That's a good example of that.
I mean,
you're literally making new connections to what this reality is. And so how talk about malleability, that's it.
Well, and even on a lighter level, meditation also does that.
Of course.
And I don't want to, dissuade people from thinking that you got to go straight to fucking DMT or ayahuasca.
No. I think you should definitely meditate a bunch first. Get that out of the way first, and then of course continue that. That's just an everyday type of thing that you should be doing.
Right. And so meditation will help you kind of understand what it's like to separate yourself from this reality.
Yes.
That's the honestly, it is the most important part of meditation, is to help you understand that you are not rooted in the body that you're in. That reality is not just something that is happening to this vehicle that you're in. It's happening to the real you. It's not only happening to the real you. I mean, the real you is ultimately the one that's projecting this reality anyway.
Right. Yes.
Most of the time without even you knowing or you understanding. Yeah. And it seems like, honestly, I feel like we're making this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
because it works out so well every time.
It seems like
too perfect.
It seems too fun to be real.
Right. I know. Yeah, dude.
But it checks out.
I love it, dude. I love it. Before you start meditating and before you eventually, if you do have a psychedelic experience, you realize that it's always just kind of been, and even now, I imagine it's still just the shadow on the back of the cave. If we're gonna go like Plato's cave, like that's really what we're working with. You know what I mean? And so once you open up to more possibilities, maybe you can, at the very least, maybe you're not able to turn around and see all the light coming from the back of the cave, but maybe you can make a way cooler image on the shadow. You know what I mean? At the very least. Yeah, if that's what you got to deal with.
Who hasn't done a dog? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, all right. Nextly, we're going to get to one of the final segments. How many segments we got? Oh, we still got quite a bit.
I'm loving this though. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. We're not, we still got a little while, so we're good. I mean, it's just going to
Cool.
keep on pouring on.
Bring it on.
So, the next segment is why resonance works. The science of vibrating into alignment.
Okay.
All right.
Like it.
So let's get to the heart of the question. Why does resonance actually work? Why does chanting Om or humming until your entire body vibrates has such a profound effect? This is something that I was like, all right, why is it that whenever I create a resonant frequency in my body that I feel like reality's a little bit different? I
have a feeling, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have a feeling there's definitely the spiritual nature of that and also the biological nature of it together.
100%.
You know what I mean? The vibration that you're sending through your nasal passage and all that is definitely having somewhat of an effect on your immune system and everything, neurologically, I feel like.
So here's the science. Everything, your body, your emotions, and even your thoughts has a vibrational frequency. Your heart, for instance, produces an electromagnetic field measurable up to 3 feet outside of your body. Your brain waves oscillate at different frequencies depending on your state of consciousness. Beta for alertness, alpha for calm, theta for deep meditation, and so on. So when you produce a sound like Om, something powerful happens. The first one is that you have resonance entrainment. So this is really fucking fascinating. So your vocal cords, chest activity, your vocal cords, chest cavity, and skull vibrate at a single unified tone.
Oh, that's cool.
When you produce a sound like Om, so your vocal cords, your chest cavity, and your skull vibrate at a single unified tone, this creates what is called a coherence in your body's natural rhythms, where your breathing slows, your heart rate steadies, and your nervous system relaxes, right?
Homeostasis. Yeah.
Exactly. Nextly, another thing that is also happening whenever you are producing a sound like Om is that you have the vagus nerve stimulation. So
that's the one behind your head, right?
Yeah.
On the back of your skull? Okay.
Connected to the spine, I believe.
Okay.
So the vagus nerve stimulation, so humming or chanting activates the vagus nerve, which is a critical part of your parasympathetic nervous system. This brings the body into a state of deep calm, allowing healing and emotional processing to occur.
There you go. See? So already just what you've said, it is just biological so far. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't argue that.
How do you?
You can't. I just told you.
You forgot already?
I just told you. What are we talking about?
Nextly, your brainwave shifts. So the steady hum of Om often guides the brain from beta waves, which is active thinking, into alpha and then theta waves, which would be relaxed or meditative states, which are ideal for reprogramming the subconscious and opening to intuitive insights. So on a mystical level, resonance is the language of the universe. In Hermeticism, it's said that all is vibration. That was the first Hermetic thing, right?
Yep.
By intentionally creating a resonant state, whether through sound, meditation, or ritual, you're tuning yourself like an instrument to match the frequency of what you wish to experience. This is why ancient practices like mantra chanting, drumming, and even dancing were so central to spiritual work. They literally changed the practitioner's frequency. So, in short, resonance works because it aligns your inner state with a greater field of energy. When you hum Om, when you light a candle with intention, or pray with your whole being, you're not just hoping for change, you are physically, mentally, and energetically shifting yourself into a state where change can occur.
Wow.
So, this is where it's to take it even a step farther.
Oh, there's more.
But wait, there's more. So now we're going to get into the fun part of the application. So using specific sounds and vibrations to tune ourselves to different intentions. So ancient traditions such as Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi, and even Christian mysticism have mapped out what they call seed sounds, which are the bija mantras. and tones that resonate with different energy centers, emotions, and outcomes. So pairing sound with intention creates a powerful resonance. So here's a basic list, and you've heard of all these. I actually think that Lord Byron brought up a lot of these.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So here's a basic list of frequencies and sounds that you can use for specific manifestations.
Okay.
Number one, if you are trying to manifest money and abundance, which I feel like that's probably for everybody.
We could all use that. Yeah.
So money and abundance, you would be working with your root and solar plexus chakras.
That makes sense.
And the mantra that you would hum would be LAM, L-A-M. So you'd go LAM, and you get that to resonate throughout your entire body. It resonates all the way down to your root chakra, right? The frequency of LAM, or the root chakra, would be 396 hertz, which is used for releasing fear and scarcity.
Okay.
So scientifically,
I think it's interesting
it checks
too.
out.
I think it's interesting too that it's of the lower chakra because it's of more of a physical nature. It's something that you're trying to manifest within the physical. You know what I mean?
Well, and even conversely, I mean, think about it. Whenever you're resonating at that frequency, you are releasing fear and scarcity. So they say that the reason why most people are hard up on money, or you always have a hard time getting money or whatever, it's because you have a fear, or you are encompassing fear and scarcity. So literally, whenever you think and you are embodying the actual frequency of scarcity, the universe is like, I got you.
Yeah.
It's
say less,
just going to mirror what you're feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. And just the association or relationship rather that people have with money. Usually when people are talking about money, especially people that don't have enough to go around, it's usually not a positive emotion tied to that. And so if you can alter your relationship to it, now, money is a good thing. Money is something that is abundant, not money is something that I just can't get a hold of.
Yeah, exactly.
Just changing your relationship with it.
Yeah. So why it works, this grounds you into safety and security, dissolving the fear of not having, which blocks abundance. So pair this with visualizing green or gold light filling your body. So you basically meditate, LAM, and you do that until literally that fear and that scarcity are completely removed from your body, which is completely dissolving the idea of the fear of not having, which does block your abundance. So it kind of works in the same way that coffee works. Okay. A lot of people believe, and coffee, just caffeine in general, but a lot of people believe that whenever you drink an energy drink or a coffee, that it's actually giving you energy. It's actually not how it works. How it works is that it's blocking off the parts of your mind that remind you that you're tired or sleepy.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. And then that's why you crash.
And that's why you eventually end up crashing, because your body is now reminding itself, oh shit, I actually am tired.
It's recognizing the fact that you are tired.
That's it.
Shit.
And
That's cool. I didn't know that.
So it's not giving you energy. It's just shutting off your sleepy center. And in this instance, you're not creating a place where you can, you're just going to fall into money. You are dissolving the place that shows you that I don't have money. I'm scared and I'm not worthy. And you're getting rid of all that to allow extra shit to come in, which is ultimately abundance in general.
Yeah. Yeah, and coming off of that episode, covering fear and everything that prevents you from, I mean, that just makes total sense.
I mean, it does, yeah. So, it just reminds me of, you seen that movie Ready Player One?
Yeah.
So whenever he got on the racetrack, it was like the first thing that he had to try and get one of the keys or whatever it was, right? And instead of following what everybody else was doing, which was going forward, he decided to go backward, right? Because who would think to do that, right? And so this is essentially a backdoor way at looking at what the wires are really controlling and being able to almost look at the wizard behind the curtain.
That's great. That's actually a really good example. I love that.
Thank you, sir.
Because he backs up and that little door drops out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's all this is. You're just looking for the back door, and you're not cheating the system. You're just understanding how the system works.
Yeah. No, that's great. I love it.
So another chant that you could use if you don't want to use LAM, you could chant this word called shrim. So shrim, and that would help you do basically the same thing. This is in Vedic. In the Vedic tradition, they believe that it would help you attract prosperity.
All right.
All right. So just a little extra one.
Love it.
Nextly, if you are trying to manifest love and connection,
Okay.
don't do a love spell. Just manifest your own resonance into putting yourself into the frequency of being able to attract.
That's it.
To bring these things in, right?
Embody that. Yes.
So this would be, if you're working with love and connection, you're going to be working with your heart, obviously, and sacral chakras. Okay. So makes sense that it would be sacral, which is like the groin region.
Down there region.
Yeah, the netherworld.
There it is.
So you would chant the mantra of YAM. YAM. So YAM. And so which it targets the heart chakra specifically. And so this frequency would be 528 hertz. It is called the so-called love frequency. And it says that it often is linked to DNA repair and emotional healing. So, maybe you don't find the love of your life, but you learn how to love yourself. Maybe it's a bit of both. Yep. So why it works, it says that it opens the heart, it attracts harmonious relationships, and creates the resonance of love itself, which draws more of it to you.
That's cool.
Interesting. An extra chant that you would be able to chant would be Kleem, Kleem, which is a Vedic sound. It says that it is used to magnetize love and deep connection. So Yam or Kleem would be for love and connection.
All right.
These are just frequencies. This is a frequency to be able to embody, because you know that your frequency is a projector. So you may as well encompass the correct frequencies that you're trying to have manifested.
Yep.
Nextly, you have the friendship and social harmony hum. This would be, so if you're trying to attract friendship, or you're just trying to harmonize yourselves amongst, out in public or whatever. A lot of people are, they don't really care to be in big groups of people, or you don't want to go to the bar, the club, or Walmart even, because it's just too many people. This would be a way to be able to clear away that negativity. And you're going to do this one. So the friendship and harmony, and the friendship and social harmony would be targeting the throat and heart chakras. And you would use the mantra of HAM, so spelled like ham, H-A-M, but you would say HAM, which is directed towards your throat chakra. The frequency would be 741 hertz, and it is linked to expression and problem solving. So why it works is that it helps clear communication, authenticity, and resonance with others. It's great for building social bonds and honest friendships.
I like that one.
That's a good one. Cool. Nextly, and we have just two more. So the next one is for career and purpose. All right. Maybe you're trying to find your career. You're trying to find your purpose. You would be working with your solar plexus and the third eye, baby.
There it is.
The mantra would be RAM, R-A-M, like RAM. And this would be working with your solar plexus chakra, and the frequency would be 639 hertz. I'm saying all these frequencies in case you want to meditate on YouTube or whatever to a frequency.
One.
So 639 hertz, which supports harmonious interpersonal dynamics, which is great for work relationships. And why it works is that it builds confidence, motivation, and clarity for aligning with purposeful work. So, and you can also pair this with Om, which is the universal resonance, to feel aligned with your higher purpose.
Cool.
Perfect there. And the last one would be probably the best one, which is universal alignment. So overall balance. Okay. And obviously you would be using the mantra or the mantra of Om. So O-M, A-U-M, however you like to say it or spell it. Doesn't matter.
It could be a go-to. That's like a go-to,
Yeah, that's like...
Makes sense.
That's like a base level where you'd want to be.
Get your shit together.
And obviously this one is working with the crown chakra. So you can use two different frequencies for this one, either 432 hertz or 963 hertz.
Yep.
And those are used for overall harmony and connecting to higher states of consciousness. And why it works is because it balances the entire system and opens the connection to higher guidance. So you are literally blue shifting your way up there.
We might have to have a 9963 frequency meditation tonight.
One of my
just saying.
favorites. Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. The last time we did it was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, we're doing it. I'm sold.
Yeah. All right.
By the way, you want to be able to meditate with us, like Sean was just talking about. The only place you'll be able to meditate with us is at patreon.com/metamysteries. That link is down in the show notes below. It's also the best way to be able to support the show. It's completely commercial free. You get the shows a few days in advance, and you'll be able to slide into our DMs. So maybe you have a suggestion for a show, or you just want to reach out and say hi. That would be the best way to be able to get in contact with us and to support us. And also, if you sign up for the Wonder Wednesday tier, you'll have access to be able to join us every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central, and join us for a fun 2-hour conversation. Usually we have, an awesome topic or a great guest. Last week we had the amazing Shannon, Psychic Shannon, come on the show. And
so fun.
By the way, all right. So
did we get some closure on something?
She texted me this just the other day. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday she texted me and she goes, somebody was listening and claimed that all the information I was sharing on the podcast was for them.
Oh, somebody that wasn't on the live.
Right. So, a lot of it was connecting to Nora, but it wasn't clicking really until the end. And so she was saying that, and I don't know if I should say the name. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm always hesitant. I never know whether or not to share someone's name like that.
Shout out to DC. I'll just say that.
All right.
So DC said he reached out to Psychic Shannon and said, "Hey, sorry to bug you. I just listened to your episode on Meta. I'm not trying to steal any thunder from Nora, but my cousin recently lost his life out here in Canada and in Alberta. His father's name was Derek. They called him Rick. They're from Newfoundland, all outdoors, working with our hands, and cherry on top, my name is a name that she had said.
Oh, wow.
And so the D is for my name. That's my legal name, not the traditional name.
Right.
And so he said, you chilled me out. I cried. So thank you, I guess.
Oh, that's cool. That's great. I'm glad that somebody was able to make that connection. That's
beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful that works.
That's
that
awesome.
Way. So, that's the thing is that she's always on something. She's picking it up from somewhere, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's no way that she got that much right.
Just the fact
guessing,
right. And just the fact that she stayed so persistent on it. She trusts herself to pick up on that energy so much that, a lesser person would have been like, well, I guess I'm just reading the wrong shit. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I was thinking the whole time, actually, as far as like staying with it and like not losing like hope on it. You know what I mean? She was, that's like you said, what gives it even more credibility, And so she's like, I don't want to throw that away, or I don't even want to take credit for that. She's like, there's something else. And it's like when the way she was doing it and the way that her voice and just everything, her energy didn't even like dip at all. Like the entire time. Because I was thinking like, oh man, I hope somebody can catch on to this because I feel like there's something there. But yeah, that was just incredible.
Amazing.
And just so the professionalism of that.
Oh, and that person was, I'm sure they really appreciate that,
Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine just listening to that just like on your own time, like after the fact, and then just like, it's like it's speaking to you?
Well,
like personally, like what?
Well, and that's if you remember what it was funny too, is because she was like, I don't know if the name is Rick or Dick. And it's funny because the person's name was Derek.
Oh, right. Oh,
right.
Yeah, dude, that's actually pretty crazy that like maybe some spirits are listening to the Men of Mysteries. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, this person listens. Let me communicate through that, and then they'll eventually hear it, even though they're not on the live. Like that's a trip.
100%.
You know what I mean?
So
even though like time doesn't even probably exist for them, for all we know. But anyway.
And as we said, that it was 11:01. So
there it
I
is.
just want to throw that
so
one out.
Validation. I'll take it.
The 111 on the Meta Mysteries van license plate.
That's it, dude.
So anyway, getting back to the chakras here, just want to throw that one out there. I didn't want to forget about that.
No, that was cool. I'm glad you did.
But getting back to the working with the frequencies in order to be able to feel it inside in hopes that you could project it outward. If you want to use them, you would sit or stand comfortably and take a few deep breaths. You would set a clear intention. For example, I am open to receiving love. I am financially abundant. And then you would chant or hum the chosen sound in a slow, steady tone for 5 to 10 minutes, feeling it vibrate throughout your body. Then you would also visualize the outcome. So you would visualize money flowing in, or a loving relationship, or career success, as if it's already happening. That is the most important ingredient.
Yeah.
And then you want to end it with gratitude. Because when you end it with gratitude, you are literally locking in the resonance.
Yeah, you're aligning with that emotion, that feeling. Yeah.
Oh, I just love that stuff, dude. All right, so we have one more place that I did want to take us for this fine episode.
Well, take us there, my dude.
So that is going to be, and we can't not talk about it, and that is the magic and witchcraft.
All right.
I knew it. So this is intention as a force of creation.
Okay.
You are the wand. Okay.
Yes.
So now we're going to talk about magic, not stage tricks or Harry Potter fantasy, but the real old world practice of shaping reality through intention, ritual, and will. So when a witch or a wizard casts a spell, they aren't simply doing hocus pocus. They are aligning their inner world with a very specific outcome and using ritual as a tool to project that intention into the universe. The candles, herbs, chants, and symbols aren't magic in themselves. They're anchors for the mind and the spirit. Anchors. That's it.
Yep.
So here's how it works. Step 1 would be the ritual. So by performing a spell or a ritual, the practitioner enters a focused state of consciousness, similar to deep meditation. This state creates a coherence between thought, emotion, and energy. All right, so you build it up with the ritual. Then step 2 would be the resonance. So while you're in that altered state, you would project your intention outward. You're projecting almost as if that
blueprint.
You're projecting it like a light, right? In that sense. So you project it outward. This is the as within, so without principle in action. So the ritual builds an inner vibrational state that the outer world responds to. And so then you would have step 3, very easy, would be the expectation. So afterward, the witch expects results, expects them.
Yep.
Almost
that's
like
where the magic is. That's where it happens.
It's like, you expect a turkey to be cooked on Thanksgiving. It's not like I wonder if it is. No, it's you know it is. It's Thanksgiving. And so you come with
place.
You come with the expectation. So the witch would expect results. This is the key. So they've done the work emotionally, spiritually, symbolically, so they live as if the outcome is already on its way. So even simple spells demonstrate this principle. For example, a candle spell for prosperity. So you would write a financial goal on a piece of paper and you would place it under a green candle, green for growth and money. And as the candle burns, visualize yourself already living that abundant life.
I love it. The visualization, dude, is where it's at, man. Because I feel like, there's times where, like I've said before, when things are just kind of going and things are busy and you're just kind of doing things by habit and or by reaction. And so when you're doing this magical ritual and you take that time to light the candle and meditate and put your mind at ease and then focus on that one thing or a couple things that you want to see in your reality, that's you're taking that time and literally reprogramming your brain to see that and be ready for it because it's coming.
Oh, it's
you're stopping all the crazy hecticness on the outside of you for just a few minutes and putting those 10 bits and using your, what is it called? Like, I forget what it's called. Is it athame or what's it called?
Oh,
the little dagger.
The dagger.
You're basically taking that mentally and pointing it at something, and not listening to anything else because nothing else matters right now.
Well, and also whenever they use that athame too, if you think about it, you can use it in many different ways. I just thought of this one though. But if you imagine that after you perform the spell and maybe like as you're in meditation, you take that athame, that little dagger, and you almost cut through the air as if you are cutting through the reality of which you live in now. You're cutting through
Right.
the veil, and you're able to step through the other side of that veil
Creating
once
like
the
portal
spell
of
is done.
sorts.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. You're stepping into that reality that you just created,
Dude.
and leaving the old one behind.
And that's not to call all this silly. Like,
No,
it's
no.
actually really fucking awesome if you think about it.
Adding to it. It's adding to it. It's giving it even more reality to it.
Yes.
More validity, if you will.
So yes, visualizing it. And the reason why you want to visualize that is because once you visualize it and you play in that playground for just a few minutes even, your brain now becomes familiar with that feeling. So now it's not so much like, oh, this can never happen to me and I'm not worthy and you know, these things don't happen to me. No, your brain doesn't know the difference, right? Whenever you're watching a horror movie, your brain doesn't know the difference between imminent danger and what you're watching on TV. It
takes
to
it
react
on as reality.
Right. So if you can visualize it, your brain becomes familiar with it, and therefore you are already in that frequency once you're visualizing it, right?
Yep.
It makes sense.
Exactly. And that's probably why surely you can expect it, you know, but we've also heard like kind of a set it and forget it type of thing. Like, don't sit there and try to consciously think of the thing that you just did. Just allow it to manifest or to stew in the subconscious, because ultimately that's what's driving more than what you realize.
100%. We just talked about it earlier with the reticular activating system, that you're taking in 8 million bits of information per second, and you're only able to quantify consciously 50 of those. So if you really
how much of those 50 bits are being dictated by the subconscious mind? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes. And so it literally is reshaping your reality.
Boom.
Literally.
Perfect.
It's not a parable. No, like literally you are completely reshaping the reality of which you thought you existed in, and it is now changing forever once you are able to visualize it and set it and forget it. So think about it like this. Your subconscious mind is so damn powerful. And the beautiful thing about the subconscious mind, and the unbeautiful thing about the subconscious mind, is that it is habitual. Is really what it is. Every single part of your subconscious mind is running on habit. It's running on the program that you built into it. So the reason why you do the ritual or you do the meditation or you do this or you do that, you're setting the intention, and you forget about it afterward, because your conscious mind may forget about it, but it is now embedded into the coding of the program of your subconscious fucking mind.
It's the new habit.
There already.
Yes.
You know, and every single experience that you do experience in your life, it plays into just about every thought and action that you do anyway. Like I remember dreams from when I was a little kid. And I don't know exactly, you know, how that is going to implicate my life on a day-to-day basis, but I'm sure it is probably, I don't know, 50 out of 8 million.
Oh yeah,
you know,
for
like,
sure. Oh
it's
yeah,
probably something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely working in a way that you're not even able to comprehend. You know, and that's your reality. You know, that's what you got.
That's it. Yeah. So another ritual you could do is a cord cutting ritual. So you would tie a string between two objects representing you and a toxic connection. So you would speak aloud your intention to release that bond, and then you would literally, with scissors, cut the cord. It physically enacts the emotional release, signaling to your subconscious and the universe that you are free.
Damn, that's like taking the steering wheel. You know what I mean? Like, because ultimately, if it is just running in the background of your subconscious, and then you consciously work with the subconscious and release that, now you're just telling your subconscious, hey, that's not real anymore. You know what I mean? Like it already took it as reality. That's your reality. You're just now just reprogramming that bit of information and saying, you know, cut, paste, or just remove, you know, control, alt, delete. We don't need that no more. That's no longer necessary for this path or our journey going forward.
Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
Boom. There it is.
That's the fucking
Mic
perfect
drop.
place to even put it in right there.
Yeah, dude.
So in where was I for this one? Okay, so you don't need to call yourself a witch to understand how all this works. The rituals work because they're embodied prayer. They're a way of supercharging intention, focusing the mind, and creating emotional resonance so strong that the world outside begins to bend toward it. When you see this in action, even in small ways, you begin to understand just how potent your inner world becomes when it is deliberately projected outward. That's deliberately projected outward.
Yes. Intentionally. Dude.
Oh my God.
You're right. This isn't for everybody. This is just for that one listening right now. This is for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, you don't even need to tell anybody about this episode. This is just for you.
I mean, pretty fucking much. All right, we have one more segment here that I wanted to get to, and this is going to be tying into your boy, Dr. JD. So this is going to be real world examples of inner change and outer transformation.
Okay.
Examples. You don't buy it. Here's the proof. Okay. So all of this stuff sounds mystical and philosophical, but let's bring it down to earth with some real world evidence. Take Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshops. He's become famous for documenting cases where people change their inner state so profoundly that their external world, often even their health, transforms.
Their physical state.
There are reports of people overcoming chronic illnesses, repairing relationships, or even manifesting job opportunities simply by aligning their thoughts, emotions, and energy with their desired outcome. One of his most striking case studies involves a woman with a debilitating spinal injury who, after months of deep meditative, in quotes, rehearsal of herself walking, literally regained mobility, something that her doctor said was impossible.
Wow. What do you do with that? You know? And I can see that as soon as you said that, like you're rehearsing, I was already thinking of like standing up out of the bed, you know, and just stepping in, walking into your kitchen and opening up the, you know what I mean? You're just doing things. And so it's almost like you're just practicing that, dude. You're making that your new reality. Fuck, dude. That's
I love that term rehearsal. It actually is, that's like the most muggle term that you can use, I think.
No, and you know, and it does sound like something that wouldn't be possible. But if you listen to certain athletes and for example, I mean, I don't know what he's doing these days, if he's even fighting anymore, but McGregor, right? He was like, oh yeah, he's going to do this and I'm going to do this. And then that's going to be it. I'm going to knock him out with the hook, you know, and then boom, that exact thing happens. And it's not even so much that he only visualized it. He even spoke it out and told people like, this is what's going to happen. And then that's exactly what happened. He already rehearsed what he was to see in the future, you know?
Yeah. I mean, is he a psychic?
Call it whatever you want. I don't even think that matters. If it works, it works.
That's it, dude. So you can also consider the placebo effect, which has baffled scientists for decades. In double-blind studies, patients given sugar pills experience real, measurable improvements simply because they believe that they are being treated. Their inner belief triggers an outer physiological response. In some studies, the placebo effect accounts for up to 70% of perceived healing. 70.
Yeah. And we were talking about that double-blind thing that they did where I believe up to 70% of the people were saying that they were feeling the positive effects of the medication. And that was in both groups. You know what I mean? The group that got the sugar pill and the group that didn't. It's like, okay, so what's that? Is it just, so it's just your mind then? Really? Even with the actual medication, is that still exactly what's happening? Or is it the actual medication at that point? I don't know.
You as... I'm going to really break it all
not
the way.
Not to say that medication isn't a good thing. That's not what I'm saying. No. Just the simple fact that the sugar pill had the exact same effect.
Yeah. Yeah. And so let me just break it all the way down. This is where my mind goes. All right. So you as the higher self, let's just say that you are the higher self. Okay. And this is actually something that me and Sean talk about all the time. But essentially, if you were to look at yourself as the higher self, you would look at the individual that represents you, you know, your body, your avatar, your character,
Your person, right?
your person, right? Like, and now you're no longer going to be talking any kind of shit, because now you're the guardian of your person. If you can separate yourself to be the highest version of yourself, and you can look down at your body, at your physical manifestation, and you say, this is who I am here to look after.
You take care of this person.
You are so lucky to be the guardian of this meat suit. And not only the meat suit, the mind as well. The mind is even, like, the higher self is above the mind. Okay. And so the idea about this is that all you're trying to do, because yes, all of this may seem silly to some and may seem awesome to others, but this is
everybody.
But this is how you get it to your mind. If it seems silly, this is how I'm going to break it down. So your mind itself, it just needs convincing. That's it. How can you convince your mind that something is going to work? How can you do it? Can you do it through meditation? You could. Can you do it through, any way that what are the ways that you know how to convince yourself into believing or doing something? Right? I mean, do you need to see examples of this working in order to believe it? Okay, then do that. Some people, like, let's just say, for example, like I always talk about my daughter with the crystal moon water, right? I put it out there. I put it underneath the full moon. She drank the moon water. She aced her test. She thought that she was stupid, and how could a stupid person possibly ace that test? But she did, right? So what I did essentially was I convinced her mind in order to accept the fact that this water, just regular fucking sink water, sitting out underneath the regular moon that is out every single night, is somehow able to have implications on your entire body. She accepted that. Okay. You can do that to yourself by convincing your mind. So maybe you're not somebody who can put out crystal moon water and accept that it's going to heal your entire body. Maybe you need that thing that is proven, right? Maybe you need that energy drink, or you need that Advil, or you need, that Tums or whatever, because you know that they represent healing, right? Why is it that every time, me personally, every time I get sick, I know that I need a leave to get better? I've accepted that. And why is it that every time I take a leave, the minute I take it, I feel better? The minute, because I've done what I needed to do to heal myself.
Yes, you needed to be alleviated. You know what I mean?
Right. So I accepted that is how that goes. And so that's all this is. Whatever practice you need to do to convince your mind that all of this, whatever it is, that any of this works, it's just you convincing your mind. That's it. That's what we found out.
That's the secret. That's the secret sauce.
That's the secret sauce. That's what goes in cane sauce right there, baby.
Right.
So, you got the placebo effect. Okay, let me just read that last sentence again. So their inner belief triggers an outer physiological response. In some studies, the placebo effect accounts for up to 70% of perceived healing, an astounding testament to the mind's role in shaping physical reality. Then there's gratitude journaling experiences, like those led by Dr. Robert Emmons, E-M-M-O-N-S, however you'd say that. Participants who spent just a few minutes a day writing down what they were grateful for showed not only improved mood, but also better sleep, higher immune system, and more fulfilling relationships. Why? Yes. Because gratitude rewires the brain, reprogramming what their reticular activating system highlights in daily life. Yes. So these examples prove what mystics have been saying for millennia. When you change your inner narrative, your focus, your emotions, your expectations, the outer world begins to rearrange itself in response. So, and then we have a little mini list of real world case studies of inner change creating outer transformation. So, just to dive in a little bit more with the paralyzed woman who walked again with Joe Dispenza's workshop. So she was a woman with severe spinal injury that was told that she'd never walk again. Through months of deep meditative visualization, rehearsing herself walking and feeling the emotions of being healed, she regained mobility. Dispenza's team documented the progress with scans and testimonies to prove it. Then another one would be the placebo. This is an interesting one. So a placebo knee surgery study.
Oh,
Okay.
that
Now,
sounds reckless.
this is from I know. This is from 2002. It's the New England Journal of Medicine. So it's not anything woo. I mean, this
Just
is
out
like
there
real
balling
shit.
on the court, dude. No cartilage, just fucking, just going for it.
I mean, wasn't that in Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
That was the
Same,
exact example.
Same thing. Yep.
Exact example. So the placebo knee surgery. So in a groundbreaking study, patients with severe knee pain were split into two groups. One received real surgery. The other was a sham procedure. After recovery, both groups reported similar pain relief and improved mobility, showing that belief and expectation alone created real physical changes.
Holy shit. I wonder how long that lasts, though. You know what I mean? Like a week later, they're like, I think they might have messed up because that pain's coming back. You know what I mean? I wonder.
I mean, I think the only
I hope
thing,
not, but
well,
that's.
I mean, personally, I would just think that the only thing that would potentially undo that would be you telling them that it wasn't real.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where spells are real.
Mhm.
Right there.
Fuck, dude. That's awesome.
Another study was the Gratitude Journal study by Dr. Robert Emmons. Participants who wrote down 5 things that they were grateful for each day for just 10 weeks reported greater optimism, better sleep, fewer health complaints, and improved relationships compared to control groups. So the simple act of shifting inner focus reshaped their outer experience, which we kind of went over a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
2 more.
It's basically
we have.
just not to cut you off. It's pretty simple actually. Like if you are not paying attention to a lot of the actual good things that are going on because you're so busy paying so much attention to the things that aren't going quite as well. But so now you're actually taking that time to just focus on the good shit for a minute. So when you're focusing on that, you're paying attention to it, you're feeding into that. It just makes so much more sense now, dude.
It do,
It
and
be
it
like
does.
that.
2 more we have. PTSD reduction through meditation. This is by VA research. Okay. So this is through the VA. So veterans practicing mindfulness meditation showed a 50% reduction in PTSD symptoms in just 8 weeks. Their inner calm translated to improved social relationships, decreased anger, and higher resilience in the face of stress. 50%.
That's great, dude. That's great. And I know that these are like war veterans, you know what I mean? They saw some shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to at all compare myself to someone like that because it takes a special kind of person to be able to put their life on the line like that. But,
Sure.
and I don't make mention of this very often, but when we first started Meta Mysteries, I was really just coming out of my own mind. My own mind was really putting me through it. And so with meditating and everything else, I just had this thought like, man, less than a week ago, how my anxiety and depression and the things that were really fucking bringing me down, dude, like it's not even that anymore. And I don't even like, I had to remind myself that I even experienced that, and so maybe it had something to do with the meditation, which I'm almost certain of, or the psilocybin. I don't know, but dude, I'm telling you, the way my mind works now is so different. And so I don't know, man. I don't know what you want to call that, but I feel like whatever we're doing has worked because I was really going through it.
Well, and now the chaos of negative speak to yourself.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely have been able to see the contrast for sure. How bad your mind can put you into like the darkest space possible, and then the flip side of that, and how that wasn't my reality at all. And it was all just going on right here. So yeah, dude, I can attest to it.
100%. That's great, dude. So we have one more example, which would be, placebo chemotherapy.
Oh, that also sounds reckless, but let's do it.
So in multiple studies, patients given harmless saline infusions as quote unquote chemo experienced classic chemotherapy side effects. Whoa.
I wonder how someone even gets involved with this kind of study. This is what I think about. You know what I mean? And someone knows that they have cancer and then they just think that they're going to get treatment, but really they're not. Like, who's signing off on this individual or this patient's treatment? You know what I mean?
I would probably think that it's like free chemo treatment.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay. So
saying?
then you just like, okay, I'll go for that. You know, okay, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
you would have to sign off on it. You know what I mean? They can't just like not, I don't know, not tell you, but
Right.
anyway.
Right. So it says in multiple studies, patients given harmless saline infusions as quote unquote chemo experience classic chemotherapy side effects such as hair loss and nausea, showing how deeply the mind's expectations can shape the body's reality.
Because I was just thinking that, like, they're gonna be like, man, this treatment really isn't as bad as people keep saying. Like, I haven't gotten sick, I haven't thrown up or lost hair or nothing like that. Like,
But they were.
they actually started to lose hair,
Yeah.
and holy fuck,
I know.
that's crazy. That reminds me of that one that one example you always make about the person that has diabetes and then their split personality actually requires the insulin because it's like it just becomes the reality.
Yes.
Or their eye color changes.
Dude.
Or that's what
the
this
fuck,
is.
man. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's all in the mind. And,
Holy shit.
just to give a shout
Yeah.
out to Happy Gilmore too. Which,
Yes,
have you
dude.
seen it yet?
I haven't yet.
Oh
I
my
haven't. I'm
God,
going to,
it's
man. It's
so
so busy
good.
around here. I know.
It's
I know.
so
We're gonna
awesome.
watch it. We're gonna watch it. Maybe this weekend.
Perfect. So in closing, there is a bit of a call to action. None of this is just theory. This isn't just nice ideas. This is reality. You've heard the mystics. You've heard the science. You've heard the stories over and over again. The truth echoes. Your inner world is the architect of your outer world. And here's the real secret. You don't need to wait for life to change. You are life-changing. The second you shift your focus, your beliefs, your energy, you start bending reality towards something new. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's the law of correspondence, the design of the mind, and the oldest spiritual truth in history. So here's our challenge to everybody out there. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop blaming the world for how it is. Stop feeding the wolf of fear. Instead, feed the wolf of courage, love, and vision. Meditate, journal, visualize, choose new thoughts. Take one step, just one, toward becoming the person that you know that you can be, and then another, and then another. Because the moment you change what's happening inside of you, the mirror of reality has no choice but to change too. Your new life isn't waiting for you out there. It's waiting for you in here. This, and if you take nothing else from this, from today's episode, then take this part. The power you've been searching for has been yours all along.
Damn. Get your power back, you know?
Go, go, Power
Sometimes,
Rangers.
dude, I think these episodes are just for me. You know what I mean? You speak to my soul sometimes.
I hope it is. I hope it's for every individual person out there. This is not
Yes,
for
dude.
the masses. This is for you. You
That's
don't
it.
need to go and prove this to anybody. You don't need other people to believe what you're saying in order for it to be real. Stop thinking that way. This is for you. This is for you, the individual. And once you get it, then, you know, maybe you'll be able to help somebody else that is curious about it. But one thing that we've noticed is that you can't teach somebody who doesn't want to be taught. It's like the old adage, you can't wake somebody up who's pretending to be asleep. You just can't do it. They have to come to the table. You have to meet them halfway. This is why we did the red shift and blue shift episode. They have to be willing to meet you halfway. And you can't meet them all the way. You're not going to get an angel come all the way down here to heaven right in front of your face and say, you got to do this, you got to do that, or let me help you, let me do this for you. No, you have to be willing to meet the angel, the spirit, the guide, God, Jesus, Buddha. It doesn't matter. You have to meet them halfway. And so this is something that we've learned because we try talking to people about this and we're considered crazy and we talk to demons. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. It's up to the individual. And that's all you need to know about it. Change your life and everything else will unfold.
That's great. You know, and I love how you say, you know, you don't even need to prove it to anybody else. Like, you know, even when people fast, like you're not even supposed to tell people that you're fasting because it kind of takes something away. And my coworker was just telling me that too. Like, because he said, "Oh yeah, that was because I was gonna pay him back $5 because he bought me a drink or whatever." And so I was like, "Hey, how much did I owe you? 5, $6, something like that." He's like, "No, no, no." He said, "Go ahead, you don't have to pay me back. That was my good deed. I was doing a good deed." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, "I actually just did a good deed today." And he's like, "Well, don't tell me about it because it kind of takes it away. It like takes away any kind of like positive like energy flow or whatever you got going. You're not supposed to tell anybody about it. That's just for you."
Yeah.
And so like when you're fasting, don't tell people you're fasting because it takes something away. And so you trying to prove to somebody that something works, it's like, well, if it works for you, then don't worry about making someone else believe it because then maybe they have their own thing.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with the birthday wish. You're not supposed to tell anybody your birthday wish. It's
Yeah,
the same thing
exactly.
about throwing a penny into a fountain or into a well whenever
Yes.
you make a wish that way. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, dude.
You don't.
Damn, I never even thought about all that. All of that came from somewhere, right?
It had
You
to
know what I
have.
mean? Yes, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got. That's what we got for today.
I love it.
We
Oh
do-
shit! And now I'm looking at the tarot card, and now it even makes more sense off of just what we just said at
No.
the very end there.
What is
It's
it?
the Hermit.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's your that's like, talking about the your inner world and not telling anybody about your path or what you're doing because it doesn't matter. It's for you. I don't know.
The hermit. The hermit is wise, and he knows the difference between being alone and being lonely. His solitude is the companion to his bright mind. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
There is wisdom to be gained through solitude. This is the lesson that the Hermit card imparts. On it, an old man walks alone, carrying a tall staff and a lantern to light his way. The lantern illuminates only what's in front of him, but points him toward the truth. His advanced age signals deep wisdom, while the staff suggests power. His power is in his ability to look within, relying on himself, and exercise tremendous patience. The spiritual message behind it, it says, you're deep in the process of soul searching and seeking your own inner truth. Allow yourself as much time alone as you need to look within, perhaps through meditation or taking long walks to tap into your divine inner wisdom.
That's awesome, dude. You were just saying, like, just take that first step, because then once you take that step, then you take another step, and he's holding the lantern, and so the more steps you take, the more you're able to see eventually down the path,
Well, and the beautiful thing
awesome.
about this too is that first of all, it's so perfect because the Hermit is the 9th card in the Fool's Journey.
Yep.
9 represents nearing completion. 10 is completion, right?
Mhm.
You're
Right.
nearing completion. And so what's beautiful about it is that you got the information.
Mhm.
That next step is going to bring you to the completion, which will allow you to move into the next phase of your life once you
Yes.
integrate all of this understanding into your conscious and your subconscious mind.
Yes, and the new the new reality that you expect to see going forward, Fucking
Yeah.
awesome, dude. I know it sounds woo woo, man, but it also just hits home,
Yeah, it tingles.
I love it.
It tingles. So yeah, the one out there, let us know what you think. A couple of places that you'll be able to let us know what you think is you can come check us out at youtube.com/meta mysteries. That link is down in the show notes below. Go subscribe, like some of the videos, and share it. Also hit the bell so that you'll be notified every time a new show drops. If you want to be able to get the show a day in advance, then you'll come check us out on the Meta Mysteries platform podcast. So just type in on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening to, go to Meta Mysteries. You'll be able to get the shows on Thursdays and Sundays as opposed to Fridays and Mondays. And if you want to get the shows a couple of days even sooner than that, then you would go to patreon.com/cult of cult. Sorry. What am I doing? What am I thinking?
What's going on here? You're
gotta
living
pay-
2 lives, basically.
I am living 2 lives. So you go to patreon.com/meta mysteries. That link's down in the show notes below. You'll be able to get the shows a couple of days in advance. Everything that I said about Patreon, y'all already know this. Come join us every Wonder Wednesday for the live shows. We'd appreciate seeing a lot more faces in there. There's always new faces. It seems like every single week we want to see as many new faces as humanly possible to be able to have this all-encompassing experience working with everybody.
That's it.
That being said, also come check us out over at TikTok. So TikTok.com or just go in the app and just type in Meta Mysteries. You'll be able to see clips of the show on YouTube. You'll also be able to see clips of the show along with Instagram. So come follow us and check us out on all of those platforms if you want to stay up to date. And you can also just write us a review on Apple or Spotify. Leave us 5 stars. Tell us that we suck. Tell us that we're awesome. Maybe we're on to something. Maybe we missed the mark and we're sinners. Let us know that too. All right. We appreciate
We do that from time to time.
Yes, of course.
Fine. We're imperfect.
We are imperfect.
As we were created to be. So
yeah. If we were perfect, it wouldn't be very much fun,
It wouldn't, dude. And we'd all know the answers, and then we'd have no purpose. So
yes. Perfectly imperfect. So come and support us in any way that you possibly can. We appreciate all of the one who have been doing so. But I think now we're going to get over to the meditation, which, Sean, I believe you said you wanted to get into 963 hertz meditation this time.
Yeah, sounds about right, dude. Sounds about right.
I think so. So you want to be able to listen to that, come check us out at on Patreon. As we said before, that's the only way to be able to meditate with us. If not, then just hang tight. We will they'll play like a few seconds of the song, and it'll lead into our afterthoughts of said meditation itself. But Sean, any final words for you, sir?
Yes, dude. As always, this is one of those episodes for me that I feel like we really were vibing hard. You know what I mean? I felt like we were really getting some deeper truths out of there that I didn't even think we would, from correspondence and you know what I mean? The topic at hand. And so, dude, just fucking awesome. I had a great time, and I hope that, like we've said, this might not have been for everybody, but I hope that who it was for, they got something out of it too. So
I hope so.
It was fun.
Yes. I really love these kind of conversations. These are the mind expanding ones.
Yeah.
So, but that's just the way that they were created. And I guess what we can say now is that if the Hermetic principle of correspondence came here and it taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
Stay weird.
Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.
All right, Sean. What was it like, bud?
It was nice, dude. I feel very harmonized, like just baseline, dude. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like you just need to get there, reach that level of just like, when you wake up and it's a new day and you feel like it's just fresh and new and like, yesterday's gone and so today's new. Like that's what it feels like,
Yeah.
just from 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like waking up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this kind of waking up, you don't need a cup of coffee,
No, you're ready. You're ready to go.
Ready to take it on.
You know what shape I was sending you? I was trying to telepathically send you a shape. Do you know what I'm thinking of? You know what I was sending you?
Triangle?
Yes, that's crazy. I'm not even joking. No, yeah. Because if you would have said square, I'd have been like, fuck, it didn't work. That's cool. You got it. Nice. I sent you like 40 of them. I was like throwing them at you.
It was, it's funny because as soon as you said that, I was like triangle. And then I was like, wait, am I just thinking that it's going to be triangle or is it actually triangle? So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go with what the first thing came.
You're doing it.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, that was pretty fascinating. Dude, I went places in there.
Did you?
At first I was like, all right, let me just meditate. Let me get into this, like, just table the frequency and fully try to encompass it. And I was like, damn, I feel like I got there real quick too. Like within the first minute I was there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna let the mind wander a little bit, see where it takes me. Take it out for a walk,
Hell yeah. Dude.
And
that's that 963, dude. I'm telling you, it takes you there quick.
Oh,
something about it.
There is something about that frequency that really gets you there with the quickness. It's like jet fuel adding it to it. But yeah, I let it take it for a walk and did a little shadow work.
Nice.
And just did what you're supposed to do in meditation.
That's good, man. That music though had like I don't know if you've ever seen, and I feel like you probably haven't. I don't know why, but that's my guess is that you have not seen The Fifth Element. Oh no, or if you have, I made you watch it.
The Fifth Element. Who's in that?
That's Bruce Willis. and I feel like Chris Tucker's in it. He's not in the whole movie, but he's in it quite a bit. It's actually kind of a weird movie. Every time I put it on, my wife's like, you know what I mean? But she'll watch it with me still because she knows I like it. But yeah, it had like that music kind of had like some undertones of the soundtrack or the score of that movie.
Oh, I think I remember watching that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that fucking...
That's what it was reminding me of.
Is that Crazy Eyes in that movie?
Who is it?
Crazy Eyes. That's why I always think of Crazy Eyes.
I know you're talking about Debo, right?
No,
That's not his real name either, right?
What was that? Shit. Mr. Deeds, Crazy Eyes. Oh, French fries and Oreos.
Oh no, no, I don't think he's.
What's
in
his
that.
damn name? I can't think of it.
Fuck.
He's such a good. I love him.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now, and I usually can think of his name actually.
Yeah.
That's stupid. God damn it.
Yeah.
No, it's a weird movie, but that's what it was making me think of, you know. But you know, dude, that episode, man, I felt like it was great, man. It really was, and I'm not just saying that. I know I don't always say that, but when I do, you know, I know that there's just some good stuff in there that I think that people can really vibe with and use for themselves. So even if it's just one thing, you know.
Yeah, I think it's meditation is just so damn important, and I feel like a lot of it helped me. It puts me into, you know, just the right state. Listening to that, and then going into the meditation and like trying to embody what I was just able to learn as far as the inner world projecting to the outer world, the microcosm and the macrocosm. By the way, his name is Steve Buscemi.
God damn it! Yeah, I can usually come up with his name, but
damn,
yeah, fuck. He's in so much stuff.
He was in the new Happy Gilmore too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But anyway, yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up right there, and hopefully all of the one got a little something from this, even if it's just a little bit. That's all.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll set it there, and we will see y'all on the flip side.
Bye, guys.
Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound. Journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.